Hi everyone, welcome to Value. So today we're looking at Tesla and the stock price. As you can see over here, the stock price is $183, and the biggest question is that actually worth buying or not? Because we're at a stage of this company in a market kind of cycle where last year everything was at peak valuations, and now this year everything's kind of being sold down. So the biggest question is, will Tesla continue to get sold down? And is it worth buying, particularly in this kind of situation? And I think, given the reasons that I have in mind, I think it is a stock worth buying. I think it's a stock that's worth, in my view anyway, about $250. So there is some upside for the next 12 months. I think it will probably be recognized within that 12 months. So that's one thing about market. You can never really tell when market prices are going to be recognized. All you can do is kind of do a value of what you think it's worth. Of course, it's based on valid reasons, and then you kind of track from there. So in terms of the actual stock, why do I think it's worth $250? So I think I'll take you to the net profits, also known as net income, as you can see here. So in 2021, the profit was $5.5 billion. In 2020, it was $721 million. And in 2019, the stock was actually losing $862 million. And if you just look at this, most of every year prior to that was a losing year. So the one thing that's really going for Tesla is it's an extremely profitable company, and it just continues to be much more profitable as the operation continues to grow. So I think that itself is one of the biggest reasons why, that because the profits are going to grow and grow and grow. So if we look at the quarterly, last quarter for the third quarter, it was at $3.2 billion, and the prior quarter to that was $2.2 billion, and basically the quarter in the end of March this year was $3.3 billion. So if the fourth quarter is another $3 billion or so, basically you've got a company that's earning about $12 billion, which is very, very impressive, and it's just going to continue to grow, and hence why that itself is stability. That gives it money to just do other things, continue to expand, which is what it's doing, and I'll go into that as one of my other points of why this company is worth buying into. So we've got that. So another thing that you want to consider is, hey, Tesla has a lot of new products, but they just can't seem to get them out in time, particularly with constraints around supply, particularly around the production of batteries. So the one thing that I think is going to be a game changer for Tesla is the release of the Semi. Basically the Semi, the truck that's going to be in huge demand, if they can get it out in time and in a good amount of supply. Basically, there's going to be a lot of companies that are just going to be demanding their truck, and I think they're just going to do superbly well, and that's just a completely new segment that's just going to open up more revenue for the company and also more profits. So they've got a delivery event for the 1st of December, and that itself is going to be a game changer. The minute they release that, it just cements the idea that, hey, firstly, the product is fully ready and ready for release, and also the fact that they're going to get their first one out means there's going to be a lot more next year and a year after, and it's just going to be a good, massive growth kind of area, particularly in a new product category. And also, we also can't forget the Cybertruck as well. That will probably likely be produced around the middle of next year. So that itself is going to be something to look forward to as well, and it's going to open another category for the revenue base as well. So then when you think about it, that itself is going to be a game changer, that they've always got a lot of demand going for their products, and as they increase, they're also going to need a lot more capacity, of course. And that gives me my third point. So first point was extremely profitable company, self-sustainable. Second point is they've got the semi basically being delivered for the very first time to the client, and that's on the start of December, and that itself is going to be a milestone for the company. And then the next part is they've got huge plans to basically expand their factory in Nevada. So as you can see at the current situation where the red and the blue is, these are established parts about the factory in Nevada, and I've just got so many plans to continue to increase and expand this factory that they've got a lot of capacity in the current situation where they don't actually have to find new land and then expand a new factory. They can just continue to. They don't have to build a factory from scratch. They just need to expand on the current factories. So that's the one in Nevada. They've recently been talking basically about clearing forest in their Gigafactory in Berlin. So that's also an opening room for expansion. And also they finished their production, the expansion in Shanghai. Of course, they could be continuing to do more, but they finished an expansion that they recently started. So basically, they have a capacity of 22,000 units per week at this Shanghai factory. At least that's the target anyway. And that's after spending $170 million. And they will get about 4,000 more people to work there. So you can kind of see where things are going, right? You've got good profits to fund everything. You've got new products coming in. You've got the factory being expanded, and those are all really nice synergies. And basically, what I think that hey, this is where the future of the company is going. And while that's happening, the energy business, where basically they're supplying their power packs, the solar panels, that itself is slowly growing. Of course, it's not really much of a segment right now. As if we go to the third quarter, basically the segment's fairly small in comparison to the actual car sales. The quarter was about $1 billion for energy generation and storage, but while everything's growing, it also contributes to things, and it will probably, as Elon Musk predicts, it will grow dramatically in the future. But before that happens, we've got so much more happening in the car sales side of things that's enough to be excited for the company itself. So those are my 3 reasons that I basically think this is a company that's really worth buying. Also, to go through the numbers, like as I mentioned, this company basically is looking about $12 billion in net profit, and next year, if things go pretty well, they could potentially be looking at something closer to $20 billion in net profit, and also they'll be looking at for the year currently they'll be looking at about $70 billion in profit, in revenue. And in next year they could be looking well over $100 billion in revenue, and that $20 billion in profit. So those numbers itself is quite strong. And if you look at the current market cap, they're trading at $578 billion. If they do $100 billion in revenue next year, they're going to be trading at a multiple of just less than 6 for that. In terms of profitability, their PE will basically be trading just slightly below 30. So you can kind of see where I'm going, that hey, these numbers are actually not that large when you compare against what's going to happen in the next 12 months or so. So hence why, like, at the current pricing of $183, it opens a lot of room for the stock to do really well next year. So if you've got the time, then it's definitely worth looking into the company, and also definitely worth looking at holding the stock, particularly within the next 12 months. You're going to see a good gain, particularly if the economy has more certainty, interest rates really stop increasing next year, then it bodes really well for the company to do really well. They're doing really well at the moment anyway, so there's no worries as well. So you're buying into a really stable company that has a high demand with new products, expanding factory, and everything's just going quite well. Of course, they'll have their problems here and there, like there was a recent recall of about 80,000 vehicles, but there's a lot of car manufacturers that face that. They just have to fix it and they're okay again. And it doesn't look like that's really dampening the demand for Tesla at all, particularly when you look at the competition. That there's so much competition out there that you begin to wonder if Tesla is going to suffer. But as much as things are really competitive right now, they do not look like they're suffering as much. So until then, that's what I really want to talk about today, that hey, Tesla is actually worth looking into, especially at this price tag of $183. Alright, until then, good luck investing everyone. If you got any questions or comments, post below. Until then, I'll see you next time.